The roads were dotted with people. Through the hot, quiet air, we could still hear the faint whir of a machine gun and the occasional cracking of rifle shots. But these sounds were quickly stilled. Apparently, the Martians were setting fire to everything within the range of their heat ray. Leatherhead is about 12 miles from our home at Mayberry Hill. We got there about 9 o'clock. While the horse had an hour's rest, I took supper with my cousins. Then I left my wife to their care. Speaking calmly, I pointed out that the Martians were tied to the pit by their heaviness. My wife spoke little. If I hadn't promised to return the horse and cart, I would have stayed with her in Leatherhead. Oh, would that I had. My wife's face, I remember, was very white as we parted. For my own part, I was not sorry to return to Mayberry that night. Something like war fever had somehow gotten into my blood. I can only say that I wanted to be present at the death of the Martians. It was nearly 11 o'clock when I started for Mayberry. As I traveled, I noticed a blood-red glow on the horizon. Then a green glare lit the road about me and the distant woods. It seemed that gathering storm clouds had been pierced by a thread of green fire. It was the third falling star. My horse bolted and ran. Just then I saw a huge object moving rapidly down the slope of Mayberry Hill. At first I mistook it for the wet roof of a house. Then, in a flash of lightning, the object stood out clear and sharp and bright. And this thing I saw, how can I describe it? It was a monstrous tripod, taller than many houses. It came striding over the pine trees, shoving them aside. Then this walking engine of glittering metal rolled across the heather. I could see ropes of steel dangling from it. Next, the clattering of its passage mingled with thunder. Can you picture a giant milking stool tilting violently along the ground? This was the image I got. But instead of a milking stool, imagine a great body of machinery on top of a three-legged stand.